First, it was GQ, then it was Vanity Fair, then it was BuzzFeed, then it was Dr. Mike. Now I present to you high school oceanography student reviews Surf's Up. Reactions and reviews are all the rave right now. So for my final oceanography project, I'll be given a scientific review of this 2007 film. Let's get right to it. Oh, also, I'm Ben Stolarczyk.
But yeah, I worked there just to kind of pacify my mom a little bit. Good old shiver pool. This place sucks, bro.
I worked my...
Okay, so we're introduced to the protagonist, Cody Maverick, who I best identified as a northern rockhopper penguin. The reason I know that this isn't a southern rockhopper penguin is because of the crest, or those yellow things by its ears, and the size of its beak. The first inaccuracy, I'd say, of the film is that rockhopper penguins don't live in Antarctica. Most rockhopper penguins live in islands around the southern Atlantic, like the Falklands. But then again, this is a fictional film, and in like 5 minutes they get on a whale and just sail across the ocean. So...
ever do anything like that in the contest, all right?
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're on
you're
a
right,
whale.
because that was entertaining. In a horrifying sort of way.
My name's Cody Maverick, Shiverpool. You?
No, I'm not from Shiverpool.
Oh, where are you from?
Dude, I'm from Lake Michigan. That's where I surf.
Okay, this is funny, but Chicken Joe is actually onto something here. It is actually possible and common for people to surf on the Great Lakes. I didn't think that this was possible, but after some research, I found out that it is. The Great Lakes are actually large enough and massive enough that there's enough surface area or a large enough fetch for wind-generated waves to form. However, one of the key differences between ocean waves and lake waves would be that while ocean waves could form from storms that happen hundreds of miles away, lake waves would pretty much have to happen from storms that are going on. So when people surf, it's usually from the storm surges that are occurring right around then and there. So Chicken Joe is probably out surfing in the storms a lot.
What are you standing here next to me for? Go talk to her, man.
No, I'm not gonna talk to you.
She's digging on you. She
Joe.
called you crap.
Joe.
Thanks again.
All right.
It's funny because Lonnie is actually a Gentoo penguin who would live around Antarctica, or at least on sub-Antarctic islands. But neither of these species anyway would live or breed on snow.
Z was last seen paddling into a massive swell off Pengu Bay. Friends of Big C gathered to remember and celebrate his life.
Are you nervous about what? Are you nervous
Okay,
about
so we're
going against
paddling
Tank
up
Evans?
the wave.
Get that nervous. What have to be nervous about?
Okay, this is this is funny right here. So there are a number of ways to paddle out through or over the waves when you're surfing. One way is to go over them, or to punch through them, or you can do like a roll. And then there's another way that you can do what's called a duck dive, which is where you push the board down and you go kind of just straight under or through the wave. What Tank's doing here is he's going under, and Cody's just trying to paddle right over this enormous wave. Not the way to go. But not unrealistic, because I doubt he experienced these same waves of great magnitude in Antarctica.
It's gonna be amazing. Honestly, it's gonna be the best wave of my life, and I hope the camera's rolling because you're gonna want to watch it over and over and over and over again. It's gonna be awesome.
keeps coming back up to the surface, and the waves keep coming up. So the reason for this, the reason that waves come in sets is because they're formed usually by wind, which during storms comes in intervals or gusts. So that's why you tend to see waves come in sets of 3 or 4 or maybe even 7.
Wait, oh. Looks like you stepped on a fire urchin.
Stepped on me? Stepped on me? Are you kidding? This guy was dancing on me. I mean, just look at this. Broken, broken, gone, broken, broken, broken.
Okay. Sea urchin. Since I've already had suspicions that this is Hawaii or some version of Hawaii, my best guess is that this is a sea urchin that's found native to Hawaiian islands around coral reefs called Vana. I'll put that up here somewhere. The long and thin legs are what indicates that to me, but that's just a best guess because I couldn't find any species that looked exactly like this that would be in an area like this.
This is a surefire cure. I learned it from an old medicine man. Well, works wonders.
What?
No, not that.
Now what? Now what? What's he gonna what?
Come on now.
Geek, stop.
Let's do this. Lonnie,
Oh.
can you make some water
Oh
sounds?
my gosh, this is so gross. Shh.
Oh, no, you...
Okay, now I've heard this before. I'm sure we've all heard this before. If you get stung by a sea urchin or like a jellyfish, sometimes pee on it. As far as I know, this is a myth. It's an urban legend. Urine does not have the chemical makeup to combat sea urchin venom. A much more effective approach is pouring vinegar or hot water or even seawater over the wound. That being said, this is a folk cure that has been talked about for years and spread by the word of mouth for a long time. So I'd say that it could be beneficial, but only because of the placebo effect.
Look at that. You know what you're sitting on there?
Huh.
That's koa wood. Best surfboards in the world are made of that stuff.
Yeah.
This is completely true. Koa is a type of wood that is endemic to the Hawaiian Islands, meaning it's only found there, not anywhere else in the world. And it's been used by Hawaiians for decades, if not centuries. Dates back to ancient Hawaiians, first documented, I believe, around the 1700s. But koa is a type of wood that has been used to create bodyboards. This is also what led me to conclude that this movie probably takes place in Hawaii or some fictional version of Hawaii.
I thought I killed you. You okay?
Next time when I say don't roll the...
No, wait, hey, what's that? What's that?
Okay, this is a beautiful little ecosystem here that I'm going to use to point out some oceanography concepts. Is it necessary? No. Am I going to do it? You're damn right I am. Okay, first of all, what we have here is the surf zone. This is the area where the waves break. Well, what makes waves break? I am so glad you asked. Most of the time, waves break due to a change in depth, like a slope or a reef, that will cause the dissipation of energy. In this image, we can tell from these dark colors that this is being caused by a reef. Because there's a reef here, this also leads me to believe that this is some sort of lagoon, maybe. A lagoon is a body of salt water that's separated by a slope or a change in shallower depth, which could be a reef or a sandbar, or really anything where the water gets a bit shallower, causing the waves to break. One more thing I'll point out, up here in the top we have a sea stack, which if you recall I talked about these in one of my presentations earlier in the year. Sea stacks are formed from abrasion and erosion that comes from wind and water.
Yeah, it's a beach. Sand, water, sun. You seen one, you seen them all.
Yeah, that works too.
Canoe or whatever it is, okay?
Stop trying so hard. Relax.
What do you mean?
Long, smooth strokes. Dig deep
Curling is a term that's used by surfers when your weight is a bit too far forward and the nose of the board goes underwater, so you end up taking a nosedive right into the wave.
I beat you.
Congratulations, you sure did. You should probably get out of there.
Why is that? This stuff is, look at me. It's so beautiful. Look at it. What is this stuff? What
You
is
see those things up above you? They're glowworms.
Right.
So, you're right beneath them. Yeah, that's poop.
Okay, bioluminescence is a great thing to talk about. Bioluminescence is a chemical reaction that occurs in some organisms when a chemical called luciferin reacts with oxygen. Now, this scene is about halfway accurate because, yes, there are places around the world where there are bioluminescent worms in caves like this. And the ceiling would look like that, just as we see in the scene. But, as far as I've found out, there are no organisms that poop bioluminescent poop. So again, this is about halfway accurate. The ceiling, there would be those bioluminescent organisms, but the water would just be normal shitty water.
Kelly Slater, on a danger level 1 to 10, give me a number.
20.
Wow. Rob,
Oh, there'll be blood.
I'm scared, and I'm in the booth.
Here's something that's pretty cool. All the reporters in this movie are actual pro surfers. They casted pro surfers to take those roles. I thought that was pretty cool. And also, research. A lot of big wave surfing competitions happen in Oahu, which is the third largest of Hawaii's islands. On Oahu's north shore, there is a surf reef called the Banzai Pipeline, or sometimes just called the Pipe or the Pipeline. And what it is it's a surf break that's caused by a shallow and cavernous reef. And that's what I imagine they're imitating here. And while we're at it, why don't we use this as an opportunity to talk some wave dynamics? If you recall, there are 3 different types of breaking waves. We've got plunging breakers, we've got surging breakers, and we've got spilling breakers. I might put those up in a different order, but okay, let's do sunging, plurging. That wasn't right. Surging, plunging, spilling. What makes these waves different is the angle of the slope that causes them, if you see right here. What we're seeing in these competitions are plunging breakers. They're somewhere in between the steepness of surging and spilling breakers. And I know this because of the tunnel collapse, or the barrel that's forming. That's what we see with plunging breakers.
First, I'm gonna take you down. Then I'm gonna fry the chicken. The cloud looks just like a kitten. Aww.
You know, I don't think it was till I was in high school and watched this that I realized what a pothead Chicken Joe is. I mean, he is blazed. What's great about this film is that it takes place among penguins and around marine ecosystems. So you have kids picking up on these little facts about marine science and ecology. That's just wonderful. I don't think it was till recently that I had watched it and really understood the message that was behind this film. That was to just focus on the enjoyment of life and to not focus so much on the competition. I love how this movie shows the beauty of the ocean and the water and the importance of not taking that for granted. And it's one of the first big influences that got me started loving the ocean and the water. So it's done a lot for me. Alright, that's all I have for today. So thanks for watching, and thank you, Brian, for teaching this Intro to Oceanography class. It's been a lot of fun being able to step away from strict curriculum and being able to explore what I love about marine science and be creative with it. And now I'll be going off to Eckerd and spending the next 4 years of my life studying it. So I'm grateful to be able to take these values that I've learned right here in the classroom and bring them with me in my future education. Because that's what it's all about. It's about having fun, learning about the things that you're passionate about. So thank you, and have a great summer.